Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and staying safe, and Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate, Happy Holidays for those who celebrate. Welcome into my channel if you're new. My name is Rebecca. I'm a 30-year-old mum here in Australia. I have disabilities and my child also has disabilities. Today I'm going to be diving into my first real taste and experience into sending my daughter to kindy, and specifically to a special needs school here in Australia, in WA specifically, because obviously every state and territory have different rules and things like that. So this is just based on WA. If that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Let's get into the video. I do want to give a caveat and just send all of my love and prayers and thoughts out to everybody that was affected in the Bondi shooting here in Australia, which is just so unheard of for us. It's such a bizarre, surreal, horrifying thing that we're having to deal with in our country, in our nation. It's just not something that we deal with, and there's a lot of discourse about so many different aspects, and my take is I just want to send love and my thoughts and prayers to everybody that has been affected by this. I also saw a video today and it just brought me to tears of just everybody in the ocean, on the sand, and also to everybody that's not in Australia who's been sending all of their thoughts and prayers. Like, thank you. It does truly mean a lot in a country that this just does not happen. So I just wanted to just give that little not disclaimer, but I just wanted to put my thoughts and kind of my feelings into that scenario. I obviously didn't want to just come into a new video and just not talk about it, because that's not fair on the victims. So with that out of the way, let's jump into the video. So this is my experience with preparing for kindy for a disabled child in Australia, specifically WA. My first point is why I'm sending her to a special needs school. So for those that are very, very new to my journey and our journey, just for caveat, I do not share anything personal about my child. This is just from my perspective as her mum. I don't share her face, I don't share her name. I used to on my TikTok. I've since taken all of those down or privated them. That's it. I do not share her on any sort of my social medias whatsoever, unless it's extremely private. Then I share her for my friends and family, but other than that, just purely strictly anything public she is not on. So this is all coming from my perspective as her parent and as her mum. So the reason why we're sending her is because of how complex her needs are. She has a rett chromosome deletion, so with that comes a lot of different complexities, different feeding challenges. She has hypertonia, all of that sort of stuff. I do have other videos on the channel. I'll link them up in the cards and down below if you're interested in having a little bit more detail. That is her main reason as to why she is going to a special needs school, because no other school will take her. We have tried, and they said because of how complex her needs are, we can't accommodate that for her here. So the school that we're going to, it is a specific specialized special needs school for all kids on all sorts of different types of spectrums of all different needs. So that's why we're sending her there. And you know, we've had, I think, 2 or 3 different types of orientations. We've had one where we just walked through the school and we got to meet some of the, you know, EAs and things like that there. We obviously met with the deputy. We still have yet to meet the principal, unfortunately, but we met with a lot of the other wonderful and kind and loving teachers and EAs, which is absolutely, it just makes me feel so much more comfortable and you know, I feel safe with my daughter going there. We did the orientation, and then we did also do like 2 little like transition half days with our daughter, where we took her into the kindy class and we did sort of like a mock-up of what their day is going to kind of look like. We went outside. She actually had a ball. We were really thinking that she would be so shy, because that's usually been the case when we've taken her to like playgroups and stuff like that in the past, and even at our local children's hospital. She's just very shy. It's too loud for her. She is hearing impaired as well, so we thought like, oh, that may be a part of it. But honestly, when we went to the 2 days, like, she had a ball. She loved like interacting with the other kids. She was very observant. She is very observant in general, but she was very observant. Once she felt comfortable, she was ready to go. She was wanting to play outside. She was just pointing at everything. She was using her sign, which is awesome. The teachers were so impressed that, you know, she was able to sign so confidently. We were so impressed with her. So we were so proud of her, of how well she was doing. And I think it just goes to show how comfortable, you know, the teachers have made her and therefore us feel. So I really think that's the biggest point in any school, not just a special needs school, but in any school, if you do those transition sort of schools before they start, is, you know, how does your child feel in that situation? How do they interact? you know, and obviously it's different per child. Like I said, like we thought that she would be really shy and really reserved, but she wasn't. She felt very, like she was a social butterfly, honestly, which made us feel more comfortable. And not every kid is like that, and that's not to say that that school is not the school for them. It could just take your kid a little bit of time to get used to their surroundings and their teachers and everything. That's not to say that she won't struggle. We still think that she, you know, every kid has their phase of struggling to start school, and that's totally okay. But her initial reaction to everything is really, really positive. The next point I want to bring up is the feeling of acceptance. Now, having a child with disabilities is something that is like, it's a very much, it's a niche thing, right? You don't know until you're in it. And there are so many different types of disabilities, but going to a school, you know, especially our last little like transition that we did, we actually, us as the mums and the carers, got to go with the deputy principal and the teacher, and you know, we had a meeting, and we, you know, they talked about all of the stuff that we need to know about, like the fees and the book lists and stuff like that. But it was also just so nice to speak to the other mums and have a bit of relatability and acceptance and belonging and community, because I didn't really have that prior. It was, there is a lot of that I have on Facebook, specifically in like types of groups that I'm in, like for my daughter's chromosome deletion and stuff like that. I have community there, but not like IRL, not in my circle of like real life people. So it was so comforting and so nice to talk to other mums who have been through, their kids may have different difficulties or disabilities that compared to my kid, but we're all going through a very similar experience. We're either dealing with the NDIS and the funding for that, or you know, we're just dealing with everyday parenting stuff. There was just so much integrated in having a kid with disabilities. And you know, in my case, I also have disabilities, so there's my own disability stuff intertwined with hers. You know, it felt so nice to feel a sense of belonging in a community and in a school, especially. Like the school is just so loving and caring, and they really just want what is best for your child. They are very child-led first. They do have their own separate curriculum, is my understanding, than like a typical school curriculum, because of obviously like the needs and stuff of every kid is just different. So they have their own curriculum that they work with the kids for. So for my daughter's kindy class specifically, they have, the way that our schools work, I know this is really bizarre to Americans specifically, and your schoolings is just so bizarre to me. I know that the UK is very similar to us, just different seasons is my understanding, but we usually start our school year in February and we end in November, December, depending on what year you're in. Kindy, we used to do like half days, like when I went to kindy, they only did sort of half days and slowly built up to 5 days, and then year one, pre-primary year one onwards was 5 days a week. The way our school system works, we have it in 2 full semesters, so we have 4 semesters per year, split into 2, and then split into term 1, term 2, and then term 3, term 4. We usually do 9 or 10 week, sometimes 8 week terms, and then we have a 2-week break, and then we come back, and then we do that all throughout the year. And then the end of year Christmas school break, we have like 6 weeks off, and then we do the school year again. So for kindy, usually like pre-primary onwards, it's 5 days a week, 5 full days a week, Monday to Friday. At least where my daughter is going to, I don't know what it is for other schools, but for where my daughter is going to, term 1 and term 2, so semester 1, she's going 2 full days a week, and then term 3, 4, semester 2, she's going 3 full days a week, and then pre-primary onwards, it's 5 full days a week. That's kind of how it's going to work. So when it comes to clothing for her school that she's going to, the smallest size that they do is a size 4, and she's barely into a size 1, so we have to take a different approach. I mean, kindy, they do say kindy is not hugely like specific on, you know, like a specific theme or whatever, like doesn't have to be the exact similar to the uniform, but I feel like I want to do that, you know. I want to represent that school because I'm so like, because I'm so excited about it, and I feel so comfortable and confident in the teachers and everybody that works there, that I want my daughter to, you know, to show that she's going there, because I'm so proud. So good old came in clutch. They must be bringing out some like school-ish, like similar school type of uniform, otherwise it was really difficult to try and find the right type of style and colour and size specifically. So far I've only been able to find the bottoms basically. I haven't been able to find Like, I found one long sleeve top, and this is also, I'm looking for winter as well. I also basically have 3 sets of each, simply because one, she's gonna wear one, and then another one, there has to be spare in her backpack, and then a spare in, they're gonna have like a little box type of, or like a shelf type of thing, that's going to be theirs, and that's going to have another set of spare clothing. So I bought 3 like shorts, 3 skirts, 3 skirts, 3 long pants. So I'm going to go through them just one by one. So these are the little black shorts, and something that we're going to try and do too is that I believe it's the shop that they have at the school for clothing, like secondhand clothing, they do also sell, I think it's them or another company, I think it's Work Clubber, something like that. They actually should sell the logo, the patch logo, and then we can buy them and like get them to patch on her clothes for us. So that is another option, which is probably something we're going to have to do for at least a couple of years until she's in size 4, and we can actually buy the proper uniform. This is a little skirt. It's also actually a skirt as well, so it comes with shorts underneath, which is super handy, and honestly something I did not think I would find. When I saw it came out, I was like, is that actually a skirt? Oh my god, yes. Is it in her size? Yes. Is it a navy blue? Yes. Her school colours are like navy blue, which is pretty common for school colours here, but they also have like the stripes down the side, and I found fleece, so like winter fleece long pants with the stripe. How freaking perfect is that? And they're really thick, they're really soft, they're quite like fleecy obviously inside, so they'll be perfect for winter. And these were super cheap. I think all up for the long sleeve and all of the pairs of everything cost me like $50. So if you're in a similar boat to me and your kid goes to a school that has these sort of colours and they're going to be starting but they don't fit the size, like definitely go to Kmart and get yourself them. So yeah, the only thing that I am missing is like a blue top, and again they do have like navy blue tops that match some of the like shorts and stuff that I have, but they never have them in their size. The smallest size that I could find was a 3, and I'm like, well, she's not going to fit that, so what do I do? So I'm just going to have to wait, and you know, especially going into January, which is when everybody has their back to school stuff, so I'll probably wait for then, and hopefully Kmart or Big W or another like clothing brand will bring out more school stuff for smaller kids. Fingers crossed. Another thing is the book list. So as soon as I got the book list, I immediately like put it in the online form for Officeworks, because Officeworks, if you don't know, it's basically like our like one of stationary type of like warehouses, I guess, or shops that you go to, and you put the list in, they curate it for you, they give you a quote, and then if you accept the quote, then they go and pick it all out for you. But because I did it before January, the quote for everything was $180, and a lot of the other mums were like, just wait till January, they often have a lot of sales on then. And then I also got some other tips, like you don't have to buy everything then and there, you can like space it out a bit, but I think in my head, like financially, I just want to pay it all then and there and just store it and, you know, grab it when I need to. Another thing is like we obviously have to label and name everything. Like pencil case, everything that we bring to school we have to name. So the last thing is fees, at least for the public system, which is the school that she's going to. I only have you know, I only have experience with the public system. I also went to a public school, so I have no experience whatsoever with any sort of private schools. Public schools for the most part are free. They do have voluntary payments for each school year or school like group, because like for example, for the fees for the voluntary, you don't have to pay them. I think I will. They do from like kindy to I think it's year 6 as a group, and then they do like middle school, and then they do high school, and obviously each group each year that goes up in price. Again, it is all voluntary. I think the only thing that isn't voluntary is like when they start swimming lessons through the school. That's when you do have to pay for their swimming lessons then, which is totally fine. We are going to be putting her into swimming lessons outside of school, because for her school the swimming lessons don't start till pre-primary, so that's a whole other thing. But also at her school specifically, they actually have like a hydro pool, which is really cool. Again, she can't get it in kindy, but she will definitely be able to get it in pre-primary, and she is eligible because of her hypertonia, because of her low muscle tone. It'll really help with her muscles and things like that. She is such a water baby anyway. If you want to know a little bit more about my daughter from my perspective, I did recently do a video on like her favourite things at this point in time at her age, so if you're interested, do check that out. She is such a water baby, so she will absolutely love that. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm also very nervous because this is just a whole new territory for me as the parent, because obviously before I was the student. I knew it from my perspective, but now it's so different as a parent. There's so much more admin stuff and like background stuff that you just don't know when you're the student. So that's going to be it for me. This might possibly be the last video of 2025, but if this is the last video for this year, I really hope that everybody out there has a safe and happy holiday season and new year. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.